I was very hungover. I was just like lying in my bed.
As one does at church.
Yeah.
Brunch. Hit it, boys.
All right, we're recording, and there's some breaking news. We're recording this Wednesday afternoon. If you're into the same sort of stuff that Pete and I are into, you probably got bombarded with this information. And we, intellectuals, are going to talk about Phoebe Bridgers' music instead. So nice try. Nice try, Satan. Okay.
It's a real test of like our brand and a real test of who we are as a podcast and what we are as a podcast.
I mean, we can talk about it without. This is like a test for the world, and I hope that I want to see how long we could talk about it without talking about it.
Well, we're talking about it without talking about it.
Phoebe Bridgers, legend, did an interview and shoot with Playboy, which honestly I did not. I knew that Playboy had either died or they stopped doing photos or something. But anyway,
they stopped doing nudity and then they changed back to doing nudity.
Okay, so Phoebe Bridgers did the whole shebang with Playboy, ordered the works, and everybody's very excited for not for like 12-year-olds on the internet reasons. Mainly just like, oh my God, we stan. That's like been the reaction I've seen.
And it's more like a good for you than it is like a ooh, good for me kind of deal now.
I think that I think the conversation with God, brilliant Phoebe Bridgers. She's like forcing us to sound like a couple idiots talking about this. Like, hey, there's nothing wrong with taking pictures. Like, fucking obviously.
Right.
But it is funny, like, we were just about to record and we were like, we have to talk about this because everybody is freaking out about it.
So it's like, for me, I'm like, wow, good for you for having like that confidence to just be like, I'm going to put my nudes basically out there and like take nude photographs.
And
like
stars in their prime, I don't know, like I'll tell you what, like I've never been like I was too afraid of getting like in trouble on my parents' computer or anything to like look up like, ooh, naked pictures of this celebrity or anything. And I don't know if that still exists, but my recollection from adolescence was like stars in their prime it wasn't a very common thing.
Right.
And I would say that like, and when I say like prime, I don't mean like age wise. I mean like the, like her career, like Phoebe Bridgers has never been bigger. She's like become and we'll talk about this in her album. She's really like this like post emo singer songwriter and is sort of like filling the current space of like a Blink 182, and everybody is so excited about this album and everything. So like I don't know, I just feel like, in my recollection, that was not something a star that big with that was really, really hitting their stride popularity wise would do. So fuck yeah, Phoebe Bridgers, just fucking shit up.
I feel like Phoebe Bridgers is like Billie Eilish without the pop aspect to it.
Oh, she's I mean, musically, I love her new album so much. Musically, I feel bad for people who like Phoebe Bridgers and listen to her now because she's cool, that were afraid to listen to Sarah Bareilles because she would jump onto the top 40 from time to time. Because I'm telling you, man, if you like this album from Phoebe Bridgers, which I love, you would be all about like Sarah Bareilles' first two albums.
It all ties back to Bareilles for you.
It really like it's some of these songs on this album are, and this is a very high compliment, they're like old Bareilles deep cuts, which is a real pinnacle of singer-songwriter stuff. Because with singer-songwriter, like the reason I love Father John Misty, I think that he kind of qualifies as a singer-songwriter, but singer-songwriter music typically is like 5 chords, melodies that you've heard a million times, and really it's like the lyrics that you fall in love with. But Father John Misty's a little weirder. Sarah Bareilles, I think, is a little more sophisticated, and Phoebe Bridgers is kind of a combination of both. So the big conversation with Phoebe Bridgers is not going to, in all seriousness, is not going to be like, oh, she did this photo shoot. It's going to be that Phoebe Bridgers is really, really hot in the streets these days.
I'm more interested, like, I know you said we're not going to talk about the photo shoot, but I'm more interested in the fact that she, like the Instagram thing. The Instagram is wild. Has her Instagram name always been Fake Nudes?
Yes.
That's incredible.
For as long as I've followed her, at least. Yeah.
That's hilarious. And I can't believe that like Instagram is like letting those pictures up. Instagram is notoriously strict about
they're
down
censored.
Anything. Barely.
They are the
lightest lightest bit of censoring that you could possibly have.
Pardon if I'm Photoshop heads. Pardon if I'm saying this word wrong. Maybe I won't have to say it. The word is
you love this word.
Opacity. I had to opacity. Whatever. I had to say it to you the other day, and I was like, "Damn it! I've just tried to say this word for the first time in my life." Maybe I'll avoid using it.
I think it's opacity.
When you use well, I know that opaque is a word, so maybe, but I don't know. Anyway, when you use like blurring and stuff like that on Photoshop, there is a setting like between 0 and 100. that censoring is like on a 4.
Yeah, I mean, like when you look at the thumbnail, you can't even tell that it's censored.
I didn't know that it was censored.
So I can't believe like Instagram is notoriously strict about taking down anything that's like close to nudity. So good for her.
Yes, I did have a little going into this album. Punisher, very, very highly anticipated. I feel like people were writing columns and running interviews with this about this forever, and very highly anticipated. I think the anticipation paid off, but I did have like one little like oh no kind of worry with Phoebe Bridgers because she's if you follow her on Twitter, obviously she's like one of the funniest Twitter accounts of musicians I follow. Also shout out Eric Slick from Dr. Dog and Shane from Houndmouth. He's hilarious. Anyway, she's got such a funny Twitter account, and her music, like, I don't know, like if you like Father John Misty, you're going to like Phoebe Bridgers. It's that kind of vibe but it's less like abrasive. But anyway, she's got like this very funny vibe and just is like effortlessly cool. There was an interview she did with Uproxx where she referenced one of the lyrics on, I forget what song it is. It might be, and it doesn't matter. But she has a lyric about hating Tears in Heaven. And it's like, we hate Tears in Heaven, but it's sad that guy's baby died. So there's a conversation about like, do you really hate Eric Clapton? And she was like, oh God, yeah, I fucking hate Eric Clapton. And she referenced, I think it was 1976, something I didn't know about till recently. Eric Clapton, during one of his concerts, was said some like really horrible, like terrible racist stuff. There was somebody that was running for something, and pardon me for not knowing. He was running for something, and the guy's platform was basically like he was really pushing segregation. And Clapton was saying like, "Hey, like I dig this guy. Like, what's wrong with every like the white people being with the white people? Like, just really horrible stuff. Like, God, like someone popped. This came up a couple years ago because people were saying like I have real trouble like reconciling enjoying Eric Clapton's music and knowing that he did this. So like, it was, and he's since said that he was like mortified by it, and he's said he was on drugs and all this sort of stuff. But anyway, she referenced that, and she was like, "Oh, I hate him. He said this horrible racist thing. So like fuck him. He's a horrible guy and everything." Which, sure, of course. But then the follow up was like, "So do you hate his music, and she was like, "Oh yeah, his music's so lame." She's like, She said his music is so fucking white, and that's where I was like, "Oh no, Phoebes, you kind of have the whitest music in the world," which isn't a knock. I would say like that kind of genre is notoriously not necessarily panned, but just like it is what like a person standing up there with a guitar singing that they have the sads is without it being like blues music is of course like considered like a very like white thing. So I was like, wait, is there maybe like a lack of self-awareness there? But I don't know. Maybe it was just a bad quote and a weird quote. But anyway, I don't know. Like I kind of had that antenna up. I was like, wait, is she like maybe not in on her own jokes? Yeah. And then I wondered, I was like, wait, if she's not, is like Father John Misty not on his own jokes or whatever? And that just shows how much time we have to be sitting around thinking of absolutely stupid things that I looked at that quote for like 2 hours and I was like, Anyway, the album is awesome. I know you haven't listened to it a ton yet.
Not yet, yeah.
So I listened to it a bunch the day it came out, loved it, and kind of put it down for a little bit. And then today I realized Haim has a new album coming out Friday, and it's sort of that when Howmouth came out with Little Neon Limelight, and then Kendrick came out with To Pimp Butterfly like 3 days later. I was like, all right, Howmouth, we're going to get to know each other very well in these 3 days because there's a good chance I'm not going to be able to listen to this or anything else for a long time because this album's probably going to come out and take over the world, which it did. So I'm cramming this Punisher album, and I love it so much. I think it's the best album of the year. I think that I was already crazy about Kyoto and I See You, which she put out before. Wasn't very big into Garden Song, but like most of the other songs on the album are great, and a few of them are unbelievable. There's everyone was really excited about, I forget what it's called, something it ends in 2. But it's with the Boy Genius Girls, and that's terrific. So 2 huge thumbs up on the new Bridgers.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm very excited to get like a block of time where I can just listen to the whole thing, like possibly in the car or whatever. But like I haven't dove into it. But on like the topic of the Haim album, I feel like I've like heard the entire Haim album.
That does feel, yeah. There's so. Do you agree there was huge? It seemed like there was enormous anticipation for the Bridgers album. Yes,
definitely. And like, there's definitely been anticipation for the Haim album, but I feel like they kind of screwed themselves by stretching it out so thin.
Right.
Like if they had just put it out when it was supposed to come out, I would have been fucking amped for it especially because there was nothing else going on at the time.
Yeah, I don't like when an album comes out and you're like, okay, 4 new songs, you know, but.
Well, the last album too, because like the last album they did Little of Your Love.
Yeah.
And was it Want You Back was the other one?
Yeah. And I think we'd also seen them a couple times. So they were playing Nothing's Wrong a lot. So you in some way, shape or form, you'd heard a lot of it.
You'd heard it, but it wasn't accessible. Like they played Little of Your Love once. And it was on like one of those late night shows. And then I don't think it came out until the album came out.
Yeah.
I don't think that they released it.
That's a good point. Yeah, I remember they were playing Little of Your Love in its kind of first iteration when they played Boston Calling and when we saw them at Lollapalooza. And it was like same song, but just like drastically different arrangement. And then they played it on SNL and it like sounded like an ELO song. And I remember being like, now I'm intrigued to hear this. Like, what the hell is it? Is the next one going to be like a hip hop version or something? And then it ended up being essentially the ELO sounding thing. But you're right there. I think that
they teased a lot more. They teased a lot more on the last album, and I like that.
Yeah,
like I feel like I've heard most of this album.
Yeah,
but I am excited for it.
I'm hoping. Here's a take. I'm hoping it's really good.
Yeah, that's a really bold thing for you to say.
This is it's the first, I think it's the first co-produced album they've done. It's usually, I'd have to look at the last one. I know that the first one was definitely all Ariel Rechtshaid, and I think the second one was all Ariel Rechtshaid, but maybe Danielle may have been producing it. But I think that this one's definitely Ariel Rechtshaid, Rostam, and I think Danielle, which that's kind of, I mean, Ariel Rechtshaid and Danielle were obviously a huge influence production and sound wise on Father of the Bride by Vampire Weekend, which was my favorite album last year. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there's going to be some of that magic on it. They did put out a video with little clips of the songs with them walking around. And
you know what that video was? It was basically the meme of Leonardo DiCaprio pointing at the screen with the beer can.
Oh yeah,
because it was just all the titles of the songs, and only the clips that they were playing were just like the title of the song,
just identifying it. Yeah.
So it's just that. It was that meme.
I used that meme today, actually.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Jack Harlow dropped the remix to "What's Poppin'," and it features a whole slew of rappers, including DaBaby and Tunchi. And one of the lines in it, so I tweeted out like, "This is good" or something. And one of the lines at the beginning was like, "These guys, my sons like Phoenix." And one of my friends responded to it with like, "That's a great line." So I responded, "Sports fans when they hear a bar about sports," and it was him doing that. That is for sure a thing, and I think that's it's kind of embarrassing when sports fans do that.
Yeah, I used to be that guy too.
They referenced.
You know who used to do that a ton, and I loved him for it when I was in like college? Wale.
Oh, I thought you were going to say.
Wale was the biggest like sports dropper.
What was I'm gonna Pusha T had a good like A-Rod telling on everybody. Pusha T. Yeah, I know that this sounds like a stupid exercise to be like, what are times that music has or that sports?
Yeah, it's not. This isn't a BuzzFeed article. 10 times that rappers shouted out sports fans.
Let's do 10 times that rappers referenced hockey. That's less common.
Wale.
Who? What did he do?
He did Alex Ovechkin on one song.
Okay.
I'm sure that like Gretzky has a bunch of them.
I wonder if Gretzky was Lil Wayne did Boston Bruins. Remember that?
Yep.
Blood Gang, B Word, Big B's, Boston Bruins.
Oh, I got the 10 best rap lyrics about hockey.
Really?
Yeah, it was
nothing but a G thing. Snoop was wearing a Penguins jersey.
J. Cole, can't get enough. Won't brag, but the boy been blessed, man. Let you play with the stick. Ovechkin. So you must have said like Ovechkin or something.
I like that.
Bodega Bams, El Rey. Chinchilla in the summer, how you fade. Don't turn into a mark for the ice like Messier.
I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Hoodie Allen, Long Island iced tea. And you eating salad, but we will be skating through. I am Sidney Crosby, and you probably ain't made it, dude. That's pretty good. Lil Wayne, upgrade you freestyle. Put a motherfucker on ice like the Maple Leafs. That's a hockey team, and I ain't on no hockey team.
Did you say that?
Yeah. But I'm a champion. Where's the fucking Rocky theme? That is a fucking bar,
That's
dude.
The best.
Put a motherfucker on ice like the Maple Leafs. That's a hockey team, and I ain't on no hockey team. But I'm a champion. Where's the fucking Rocky theme?
That's such a good line.
Put a motherfucker on ice like the Maple Leafs. Has a hockey team, and I ain't on no hockey team. But I'm a champion. Where's the fucking Rocky theme?
Fabulous Ghetto. Or Fabulous Ghetto. They tried to put 2 9s on me just like Gretzky, but my lawyer saw through it, just like wet teas. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Lightborn, divine arrival. Avalanche advantage tactic, hat trick like Joe Sakic.
Okay.
All right. Cuddy Kirby, led a charmed life. Stand up guy, man, call me Marty Brodeur. They want the psychedelics, hit him with the cure.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd call stand up guy Marty Brodeur, but he's a stand up goalie. Tribe Called Quest, keep it rolling.
Was he? Yeah.
Large professor in the house, you know how we do. I skate on your crew like Mario Lemieux.
That's pretty good.
Pretty solid. Wale.
Crazy if he said Claude Lemieux, because Claude Lemieux is more likely to actually skate over somebody and injure them.
Wale, the feature heavy song. Do it for the Capitol. Wale Ovechkin. SB hundreds. Yes, dear. I'm on that venison. More or less. Lindros, flyer than the rest of them. Mind my intentions. They ain't nothing similar. Sideways talk. Go get your neck like Zednik. Oh, Richard Zegnik's throat slit reference. Wow.
Wait, who said that?
Wale.
Wow. So he's a hockey fan.
Yeah, Wale likes hockey. Open Mike Eagle qualifiers. I ain't played Call of Duty. Smoke you in Goldeneye. RPG. Roll the die. JPG, Kobe Tai, PG-13, Cobra Kai, PPG, Luke Robitaille.
That's great.
That's pretty great.
I like their hockey references because I don't know, football, basketball, baseball. Obviously, when a lot of these songs came out, were bigger, more popular leagues. So if you're going to let hockey in on the fun, I'd like some MLS bars as well.
All right,
and NWSL bars as well.
It's really annoying because like people like hockey when they give it a chance, and so like to see all these
Please
people,
like my sport. Here he goes.
I know, but like it's so true.
It do be
it's
like
so
that.
True. It's so true. People like hockey when they give it a chance. They just don't give it a chance.
No, it's a great line. It's from Ab Soul's verse in "Smoke Again" by Chance the Rapper. He says, "We kicked it, then I score. Soccer game." Like, yeah, I figured that's where I was going. I like when sports bars are like that obvious.
Yeah, I mean, like you like the intentionally corny, intentionally like stupid dad joke sort of ones.
Yeah,
I mean,
like I'll pass it to you, and I talk it, or like take a hit and pass it, but I ain't talking about sports, man.
Fucking bar. Bars. Bars.
He could have been. It's in passing. Those happen in sports. I don't know. So that's a sneak peek of the lyrics on the new Haim album. You want to talk about? We can talk about HBO for a second. We can go in a few. Oh, you know what? Let's plug What's Cooking, because we did What's Cooking where we listened to Dane Cook and just see how that's going.
This has never happened in brunch history where we talked about something on an episode and had it done immediately,
quickly.
This is we talked about it last week with Jeff, and then all of a sudden we turned around. We were like, "Hey, let's actually do this," and we got it done, and it was so much fun, and it was way bigger of a success than I thought it would be.
It was so much fun, and I know that you can go back and kind of watch it on your stream, but a lot of it's muted out because it's
not a lot of it, just small portions.
But anyway, I wouldn't want to go back and watch it. I would want to be there for it because the chat is great. Like I signed up for an account so I can chat during it. The commenters make it so much fun because we're all kind of we've all heard a lot of it and we're all kind of trying to remember. And there's a lot of like, oh, I know what's coming next. Mm-hmm. The big takeaway though was doing a Sopranos whenever he says something that would not fly today.
Yes, that was for sure my top moment in the or my top takeaway from that stream. And I'm going to make custom emotes that like people can drop in, and it's basically like an emoji. And it's gonna be, hey,
yeah.
I'm gonna make custom ones of those for the next one, which will be Friday, because we are doing Retaliation on Friday. Have we decided a time? 9 o'clock?
Yes, 9 o'clock.
Okay, so please drop by the Twitch stream. It's twitch.tv pblackburn, and drop by. It's so much fun. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be on Friday night. Just like get a couple beers, come hang out, listen to Dane cook with us, just react to it, dude. It's such a simple idea in theory, but it was so fun.
I agree.
It was so fun.
We were pretty giddy during and after. It was a lot of fun. So definitely check it out. Thanks to everybody who did the first one. Like, we were getting a lot of like, I don't know why this is so much fun, but it is.
Right. Yeah. It was a lot of I don't know what to expect, but I'm just here to watch it unfold. And then like 10 minutes into it, people are like, all right, I'm in on this. I'm sticking around.
Right.
Like, and our numbers like were pretty high the entire time. We were around like 70, 80, 90 viewers the entire time, which that doesn't happen very often. And
That's super cool.
It means that a lot of people were watching the entire time, which I'm extremely excited about.
Awesome. Well, please.
And I'm also extremely excited about Retaliation, because that is, we were trying to figure out last week what the Dane Cook album was, with him like holding the sword, and that's Retaliation.
Right. Yes, that's the second one.
That's the first comedy album that I've ever owned. So I'm going to know. It's going to be a lot of stuff flooding back. I don't know exactly what's on there, because I thought that a lot of the stuff that was on Retaliation ended up being harmful if swallowed.
Yeah. See, I'm intentionally not looking at the track list because I don't remember which stuff was on that.
Shit on the Coats is for sure on it.
Oh, right. Shit on the Coats is
That's the opening bit.
Oh God. Yeah. It's not all, again, it's not all good.
But that's good. And by the way, if you didn't watch last week's thing, Dane Cook, a lot of it, not good. A lot of it does not age well.
But we did crack why he was so successful, because everybody gets it. Mm-hmm. It's so easy and it's so basic. And then he just says one basic thing and then says it 500 different ways.
Like funny voices.
He did like a half hour on how water is wet, basically.
Yeah, in like 15 minutes on, hey, car accidents, those happen, huh?
I can't remember now. Was the car alarm? Was that on Harmful Swallowed?
No,
okay, so car alarm
Retaliation.
Okay, so I'm starting to be able to frame Retaliation a little bit. You don't even know. I think that's in the Retaliation, right? Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
You don't even know. Right?
Yeah, just so many of those jokes are so stupid.
If you guys aren't able to make it Friday, that bit I'm talking about is where he says, you don't even know, like 100 different ways. So that's that joke. Really?
I'm so excited. Please tune in on Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern.
What's our end game? Do we try to get Dane Cook to come on the pod?
I would be thrilled. I would be so excited to have him. And that's not to say that I don't think that Dane Cook is funny.
I agree. Like he could be a nice guy and he could be a great podcast guest. And I don't know, just because I think that your music isn't the smartest stuff doesn't mean that like I wouldn't want to go to your concert, you know?
Yeah, I would definitely go to a Dane Cook show, and I would also like never make fun of Dane Cook, because he was the top comedian in the fucking world for however many years. Like, he clearly did something right, even if it's not totally for me anymore. And like, again, it was the first comedy album that I had bought as a kid. So whatever appeal that he had, I was buying into it back then. So I'm not going to fucking make fun of him for it. We've all listened to Dane Cook. He's done something that all of us have taken in, even if we don't think it's good anymore.
Not make fun of Dane Cook gang. Obviously, if you want, you can say, and I bet I'd like to have him on, because I bet he would say this. The parts where we say "oh," I bet he would absolutely say, "I would not. That would not be in my set today." Mm-hmm. Not because I'm afraid of PC police or anything, because that's not how I talk right now. And
he's just not. He's not that dude anymore. And like, we're living in a different time.
Exactly.
Like, shit just isn't acceptable anymore.
Right. Like, people, unfortunately, said the F word a few times, it was getting huge laughs because unfortunately people said that word and people laughed at it back then. Which
threw it around. Yeah.
Not to get on like a tangent here, but I do think as we talk about like the Drew Brees thing, like the goal is for everybody to get better. I think you have to consider like it'd be great to say time was nobody ever said anything bad, and then the people who did say things bad were the bad ones. Unfortunately, like it was very commonplace to say like bad shit. So
yeah.
and it's good that it isn't anymore.
I can't believe it. Like it legitimately stunned me that he ended on a hard F. His hour-long set ended with like a joke that like the joke was that he just dropped a hard F.
Right.
And he got like a standing ovation.
Which we were trying to wrap our heads around, saying like even like acknowledging what I just said, which is like people used to say worse shit. I don't understand how like it was just funny that he said that word.
Yeah, I don't get it. I couldn't wrap my head around it that was like a knockoff, walk-off home run.
Yeah, but given that crowd, they were laughing so hard at everything. Yep. He could have told absolutely any joke. Anyway, well, hopefully, I don't know, we can track. I bet the O's go down a little bit because that's a couple years later in the second album. Mm-hmm. And maybe you go to one of his shows now, you're not catching any of it. Well, what weirds me out is I'll loop back, or this will come full circle now, maybe even vicious circle. What weirds me out is when like an artist who existed in a time when people said worse things does something modern and they still sound like that. And you're like, whoa. Like I want to be able to say like this was just a reflection of the times. Like, what are you doing, dude? Dr. Dre and I Need a Doctor. I reference this a lot. His verse in I Need a Doctor, which came out like, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago or something, he drops a hard F and you're just like, oh, really? That like really pierces the ear, dude. Like, don't like.
Even Eminem like knows that these days,
right? Like, I think that Eminem probably be like, actually, I don't know who Eminem certainly was. Shock value was a big part of his his thing. Anyway, on the subject of how was there an HBO tie-in here? We were talking about something that had
the Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah. But there was something that we were talking about HBO that had a tie into HBO, and I wanted to use that to connect us to the Rotten Tomatoes conversation. Anyway, HBO did Rotten Tomatoes did a thing. There's a bracket of HBO stuff. HBO shows.
What's the best HBO show ever?
Right. And it's got everybody talking about that and coming up with their top 5 lists, their top 10 lists and everything. And I don't know, I'm stupid. It just made me realize like, oh shit, there were a lot of good HBO shows. Like I saw people making their top 5s and I was like, wow, everybody's hating on Insecure. I'm not seeing Insecure in here once. What are these people not watch Insecure? What the hell's wrong with them? And then I saw everyone's top 5s, and I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be in my top 5. So would that, so would that, so would that. Oh, yeah, Veep. Shit.
Kirby has had some bangers, man.
Right. So I was like, man, I was a little quick to judge. I saw Lights Camera Podcast put it out or whatever, and I was like, are they like in a base of entirely non-Insecure people watching? I haven't seen one insecure watching people. But yeah, shit, man, that's a tough list to make. I mean, I think the Wire and the Wire and Sopranos are the top 2, and then Curb and Veep probably come in after that. But
like Game of Thrones for a lot of people, if they're able to wipe the taste out of their mouth from the last season.
Pass.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I
didn't have a problem with the last season of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, because it made everybody hate Game of Thrones, and you were like, no, finally.
No, you can't have a problem with it if you can't see it.
Right.
If you don't see it, that's
wrong. That's not how the internet works anymore.
That's the reverse. Don't knock it till you try it. Can't knock it. Didn't try it.
If you couldn't hate something without seeing it, then nobody would have cared about the Joker.
I will say there's like a little more than usual. There's an acknowledgement that Twitter sucks of late. And to speak Twitter language, I'm here for it. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that everyone is like reminding themselves like, yo,
this is the worst.
Twitter is where people come to be the worst.
Poison their brain. Like I'm logging on to purposely poison my brain.
Right. Like between white liberals, this is sad. I saw some tweets about this. Like white liberals kind of like bastardizing the George Floyd murder and the aftermath of like, you're seeing a lot of like white liberals using it to do certain things that it's like, please don't, please, can we please stay on topic? This is super, super important. Can we focus on like police brutality and these important, like the black community kind of needs us here. Don't fuck us up, white liberals. And white liberals are like, yeah, but if I can just speak for a second. So like that's really disheartening. And there's a million reasons to be upset with Twitter, but I'll say this. A dear friend of mine gave his first sermon on Sunday, and he said, "Hey, I'm going to be giving a sermon on Sunday." And I was like, "No way, that's so cool, dude." And he was like, "It's actually going to be streaming if you want to watch it," which the chutzpah on him. If there was a live stream of something of me doing something I've never done before,
first time,
I would not be giving people the link.
No.
I would not be sharing the link.
I would hope that it like archives, and then if it goes well, I'll send you the link.
Perfect. Exactly. You were cut from the same cloth. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'll do a snippet and I'll post it on Instagram later. Just be like, oh, they cut this up pretty cool. When in reality, like I requested the video.
Yeah. If you missed it because I didn't tell anybody about it, feel free to go check out this thing.
Right. So I watched it, and he was like, it starts at, I think he said it starts at like 10:30. I'm going to be on about 11:15, but who knows? It's fluid. It's church. Mm-hmm. Time is certainly, time is not strict in my church going experience. They'll say, hey, this is going to be a 10-minute service.
It's completely made up.
Oh, all right. I'm being nice about church here. Okay. Although I am not a religious person. I tuned in at like, I don't know, 10:45. I was like, I'll watch a little bit of church before we get to my buddy here.
Watch a little bit of church.
Yeah, I'll catch an episode at church. And
a webisode. Oh, it's a Bible webisode.
Whoa, bang. Very cool.
It's a callback.
And I'll tell you, man, it warmed my heart. And I hate that my thought the whole time was like, all of these messages are the exact opposite of Twitter. Like it was so much of it was
positive.
It was like it was quite musical. So I was into that. I always love the musical element of church. But the message by and large was like, I am, and this happens a lot with church, like that I have sinned, forgive me sort of stuff, repentance and whatnot. But a lot of it was like, I am trying my hardest, but I fail. And I struggle and I fall down and like, Lord, I need you to help me to see me through a lot of things and help me get better. And I'm trying to get better and everything. And I was like, wow, that's such a basic principle, but it so flies in the face of Twitter, where it's like,
you failed.
You better hope you're perfect, man. Yeah. If you put out that tweet saying Major League Soccer is the first league back, and that super mean athletic writer who sicked everybody on me is like, this person hates women, then that is, it's so the opposite. And I knew that when that happened, and that stuff like that's happened to you and everything, and it's so upsetting. To have in your psyche that like, if I ever make any sort of mistake, I'm a bad person.
Right.
Which I don't know. Like obviously we're all bad people, and like we're all trying to be better people, or we're all sinners, et cetera, et cetera.
We're flawed people.
Right. Yes, exactly. We're all flawed people, but I don't know. Twitter, obviously, I'm not telling any tales out of school, is so based on like any mistake means, whether it's not necessarily like an offensive mistake, which I could certainly see, like when I tweeted that thing saying that that Major League Soccer was the first league back, I could see how people would be hurt by that. If they're like, if you're a real big fan of the NWSL, it's very easy to deduce like, well, this person either doesn't know about a women's soccer league or they don't care. And
right. Either one hurts like for a thing that you care about.
Of course. So whether whether it's an offensive thing or not, if you tweet something stupid and you misspell a word or whatever, you're just going to get dunked on. And like people are going to be very mean to you, which is something that like the last, I don't know, maybe year I've been kind of working on. I've moved away from the quote tweets of like dunking on people, although I still kind of do it. But I just don't like that practice that we're all in of, if there's an opportunity to make fun of somebody, or if anybody makes any sort of mistake with anything. And again, I'm not necessarily talking about offensive mistakes or hurtful mistakes or anything like that, or even like just a hurtful thing. Anyway, there's this kind of, on Twitter, there's this very real fear of like, if I don't do Twitter perfectly, I'm going to get made fun of, or I'm going to do whatever. I'm not going to be cool anymore, any of this sort of thing. And this church thing was like, hey, I can't get through a day without making a mistake. And I was like, yo, me too. Yeah. And I was like, all these people are sitting here listening to this good message, and it made me feel so good about church.
So you listened to a sermon on Twitter that was basically...
This is before my friend, by the way. My friend gave a good speech. Shout out to him. But it was the other guy before that really made an impact on me.
The opener was crazy. I fucking left after the opener. He was so good.
I think
my
albums.
Friend did all right.
Yeah.
You listened to a sermon on Twitter that basically turned into like a sermon about Twitter, that you related to Twitter.
I didn't watch it on Twitter.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you said like here's the link on.
Oh,
Twitter.
it was a YouTube stream.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know. He was just kind of a reminder that the Twitter's not real, and that I would say that your one's habits shouldn't be based on Twitter. I guess like the kind of the bullying and all the stuff that goes on Twitter, that can be a deterrent to like never make a mistake. But I don't know if that's the healthiest that's the healthiest thing in the world, to be like, if I make a mistake or if I do anything wrong. And I'll say again, I'm not necessarily saying like tweeting something like offensive or anything, because I hope that we're never tweeting anything offensive, but that like if I ever make a mistake or do anything wrong, I'm going to get like crapped all over. You know, I think that it's, I like the message of like, hey, constantly try to be better and know that you're going to fail sometimes. I've
been pulling back from Twitter a little bit lately, and like people have started to notice, I suppose. Like I've had a few people saying that like
not enough tweets.
No, like they've been saying like your Twitter sucks now, and like I feel good about the fact that I have
influenced you in so many fucking ways. Like it's wild. This is the final one. I'm so proud of my beautiful boy. He's just like me.
And like I feel good about
Twitter
the fact
sucks.
I feel good about the fact that I just don't care. I don't care if you think that my Twitter sucks. I really don't give a shit. And it's like, and my reaction to it is just like, well, what do you want me to do? Like, what do you want me to do? Because there's nothing really going on right now. I don't really have anything to say. So I'm going to do like a couple fucking stupid ass tweets, and then I'm just going to get the fuck out of there because I don't like being here for the most part anymore. So I don't care if you think that sucks. Go ahead and unfollow.
I was watching a live stream with two members of Tally Hall, a band I loved, and it was Andrew Horowitz, brother of Stephen Horowitz, who stayed in music. He's a producer, and everybody else, some members stayed in music and are still doing stuff. Rob Cantor famously did the Shia LaBeouf song, and that led to the Shia LaBeouf clapping gif that everybody uses so much. But this was Andrew checking in with Zubin Seji, their bass player, who I don't know, no one had heard from in like, let's see, 2011 was their last album. Like, I don't know, like close to 10 years. So they were just checking in with him, talking, reminiscing. And he's like a doctor now, and he has a family and everything, leads a completely different life. And he's not on social media. And someone said, like, do you have like a private social media, or are you just not on social media? He was like, yeah, like I don't have to be for my job or anything. Like if I were still a musician, then maybe, but I don't have to be. And I figured it's probably really time consuming. And if you just cut that out of your life, you could probably get more stuff done. And I was like, oh man, I'm telling you, when I get fired or whenever my time comes in the business, I was like, ooh, that sounds really good. That sounds really good. Maybe I'd be really bored, but I was like, the idea of not having to, I don't know, there's like so many, there's social reasons to use certain apps too. Like I don't know, like Instagram, I feel more connected to my friends if I see what they're posting on Instagram, which I think is not necessarily healthy, but it's just a reflection of the times in which we live. Twitter is, Twitter, we both think Twitter sucks, but I do like being able, I like just like tweeting my weird things. Mm-hmm. But other than that, like reading Twitter and shit is not a healthy thing.
No, I don't really do that anymore. I like used to wake up and scroll and just kind of see what everybody was about. I don't need to know what everybody's about anymore. I don't have any interest in it.
Good for you. I got I did a thing where I used to scroll on through like stories on Instagram in bed before I go to sleep. I think that a lot of people are like that. I'm about those blue light goggles these days. So like I'm trying to really limit how much stuff like that I'm seeing anyway. But before the pandemic, I'd gotten into the habit of when I get home from work, which is late at night, no more Instagram. So I would I'd get to my apartment and I would sit in my driveway for like 5 minutes, just like scrolling through stories or whatever. And then I'd be like, all right, all done. But even now I don't get home and sit in my driveway. So I just don't go on Instagram as much, which
Twitter basically now exists for me to make stupid fucking observations and like stupid jokes and just tweet out the link to my Twitch so that like 40 people can watch me play Call of Duty. That's all it exists for at this point.
You are a Twitch boy now.
I am.
You're a full-blown Twitch boy.
I fucking love it, dude.
I love it too. I don't know anything about like I'm
not good at it, but like I fucking love it. And there's like a community there, and they're the nicest people.
They're nicer than any other.
Yeah, like it's awesome to be on Twitch. Like Twitch has replaced Twitter for me, where like I like being there, and the people are like positive and very supportive, and that's just not the case with Twitter anymore. So
see, there's a that has replaced Twitter for me as well. You have Twitch.
And you have Titch Talk.
Nah, I think I might go back on Sunday.
Church? Oh, no way.
Like maybe like as we're having this conversation, I'm like, maybe I'll get into church. I mean, you did a good job, like sort of selling me, like, hey, should I be? Oh, dude, I'm telling you that felt it really made me feel great, and I don't know. This is all very new to me. Things are moving so fast.
Is there a church where they like just don't talk about the God stuff, like where they don't talk about like the Bible and all these made up characters?
So that's the thing. I don't want to offend anybody, but I do not believe that, and I feel like I would not be welcome in church for not believing it. But like I
just want to hear like the life
of, like
sort of like
positivity.
Lessons.
Right. I'm a fan of positivity and community, really. And even though this was just a stream of just like one person and there were musicians, it made me feel, and there were comments and people were saying like I really identify with this thing that you just said. And I was like, this is so great. Like this is making me feel good, but it's, I don't know, maybe various places there's like a family of people sitting around, and it made me feel really, really good. So I'm not a religious person, and I doubt I'll ever become one, but I'll tell you what, I was very happy for all people who are religious people. And I don't know, maybe this will, problematic is the wrong word. Obviously religion has created many an issue in the world, but my little snippet in my half hour, and then honestly, my friend who's great at everything, I knew that his sermon would be excellent. It was. I felt quite good. I'll also note I was very hungover. I was just like lying in my bed,
as one does at church.
Yeah, that was so. Yeah.
Oh God. All right. Well,
but it was, like if we're doing like stock watch for things in life,
the stonks on church are on the rise.
Like, Dave says, watch out for church.
We should definitely do like a stonks update, because like stonks are back in the fucking the stonks are big right now. Stonks are the stonks on stonks are up.
I love stonks.
Everybody's getting into like the like whatever the trading game, because
like day trading.
Yeah, because that got like a huge boost because no sports. So like the sports gamblers were jumping onto day trading,
which is so funny to me.
Yeah, and so I wouldn't hate doing like a day trading for brunch where we just like talk about the stonks of random things.
Yeah, free day
like
trading.
Church stonks way up.
Does Dave Portnoy does he do like a daily thing where does he like stream himself day trading?
Yeah.
I don't know if I think I've seen like clipped things of that. But I'm wondering if there's like a thing that we could do like that where we're just doing stonks.
Just talking about stonks.
Are people saying stonks for day trading?
No. That belongs to us.
I don't know if this has made the podcast, which is funny because there's certainly been times where we're like, we have nothing. What can we freaking talk about? Yeah, we do still keep some stuff, even completely like
close to the
like
best,
stupid like stuff like this that like would go on our podcast. We keep some of that stuff to ourselves. Like we joke about stonks, and we've acknowledged like I'm a big fan of stonks.
Huge.
And whatever that stupid meme is, I don't know why this is the first time we've brought it up, but we're into it. So
let's make stonks a brunch thing.
Some stonks. Maybe after every episode we can just say what's like up and down.
Yeah.
So stonks up, church, which
also up.
Who saw that comment? Yeah, stonks up. All right, so here are the stonks. Number 1, stonks. Number 2, Phoebe Bridgers. Number 3, church.
Yeah. What's down?
So
you know what we have to do?
A stonk that's down.
What
is my perception of where Insecure ranks among HBO shows.
We what we have to do is like we have to like send out a tweet after each episode with like daily stonks updates or whatever, or like weekly stonks update, and we have to have the shorthands. Like, you know how they have like the 3-letter abbreviations? Yeah. We'll do that and send out the stonks updates.
PBR. People be like, Pabst Blue Ribbon. Phoebe Bridgers, you idiot.
Hell yes. Also, downward stonks is people's physical conditions, but you can rectify that with Awaken 180 weight loss, because when most people try to lose weight, they think exercise, but that's the wrong thing, because whether you actually start exercising or not, the results are normally the same either way. I say the same because losing weight is all about nutrition. With Awaken 180 weight loss, you'll receive a customized nutrition plan, weekly one-on-one coaching, and the option to receive 80% of your daily foods to help you lose weight your first week and each week after until you're down to your ideal weight. During your weight loss transformation, you'll be gaining the tools to know what and how to eat so you can keep that weight off for the long term. As always, Awaken 180 will provide you free support for life. It's worked for Cedric Maxwell, Scott Zolak, Dan Ray, Kyle Draper, Andy Gresh, and thousands of others. Now it's your turn. Call the long-term solution for weight loss and the official weight loss program of the Boston Red Sox, Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Online at awaken180weightloss.com.
I'll tell you what, no one's ever cared when I give my little updates of like, oh, I've gained weight, or like, hey, I'm trying to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
It's been so easy dropping weight these last couple of weeks.
Why?
Because we're home all the time and you can go outside. Like if I had to work a regular schedule, maybe it would be tough. But I just get up no matter when I get up, even if I sleep late. Just go for a run, go for a walk or whatever. Eat like eggs and chicken for most of your meals, and you're fine. Like it's also very easy to lose weight when you've gained enough weight that it kind of melts off easily.
Yeah.
So I'm in that kind of honeymoon period. I lost like 10 pounds in like a week and a half.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of people would have issue like with that because they're
while
stuck
still
at home.
drinking beer, by the way.
A lot of people just don't eat super healthy when they're stuck at home. And have nothing else to do.
That's what I was doing at the beginning. All I had to do was stop doing that.
Your trick was like you hot tubbed yourself. You hot tubbed yourself
doubt.
with weight.
But it's not going to work because I still have to lose some weight before I'm back to where I was pre-COVID, which is hilarious. I think I said that on the live stream, What's Cooking? Like, how cool is this? I lost 10 pounds and I've still gained weight during COVID. But it won't work as a hot tub thing because I'll have left looking one way. And if I come back looking the same way, no one's going to notice any difference. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to get like a little below what I was before to be like, man.
Also a down stonk. I hate to say it. It's my hairline, dude. My hairline is going. Yeah, I'm fucking dreading it. And like,
you got that
I'm in the
late
shower.
career Jerry Rice look.
Yeah, and like late in the shower lately, I've been like running my hands through my hair, and dude, a lot of hair. I don't know if it's just because my hair is a lot longer. I
think it's because that happens all the time. I think that you're thinking about it now, so now you notice it.
It's in my head.
That always happens. No pun intended. It is. That always happens when you run your hair through dude. Especially you notice it more too when your hair is longer because when it falls down, there's like bigger clumps of it.
Yeah.
But I used to be like that too. I'd go to get a haircut and I'd be like, "Tell me, doc, is it over?" And he'd be like, I'm a hairdresser, not a doctor. And I'd be like, you can say it. Is my hair thinning? And they're like, dude, you have wires on your head. You have like the thickest, fullest hair in the world. And I'm like, just tell me.
I might be okay. Like my hairline is definitely going, but my hair itself is still pretty solid.
Nice.
So I'm fucking worried about it though. Like we've discussed this plenty of times, but my hair is important to me. I don't want to lose my hair.
Oh, the second I have confirmation from a doctor, hairdresser, whomever, that something is starting to look different, I'm like, okay, well then I'm getting
Leonard.
Yep, hitting them up. Although I think that you're not allowed to get that until it reaches a certain point, so that will stink.
That's like Accutane. They won't let you go on Accutane until like you've tried everything to fix your acne, and like it just gets so bad that like you have no other real options.
Wouldn't know. It's like Game of Thrones to me.
Yeah, well, isn't that fucking nice
Perfect
for
skin.
you?
I went to Sephora today, picked up some, re-upped my under eye cream. I have gotten back into that. I stopped doing everything, man. I was just eating bagels and pasta every day, just putting on weight like crazy, doing a lot of ice cream, doing a lot of beer, and also I just gave up on like my skin regimen, the whole nine, and it was really looking like hell. And
I could never give up on the skin regimen. Like even in my worst days, during quarantine, I never even thought about just mailing it in on the skin routine. I still was buying like my $80 face moisturizer because like it's just like when my skin is bad, everything is bad.
Yeah.
It's like I can't be confident in anything. I just feel terrible. So
I feel good.
I never let the skin go bad. And like it's also a thing where like I put in my fucking work to get this skin. I went on Accutane. I fucking suffered. So I'm not taking any steps back there.
I have done a bit of shopping. I've been texting you some stuff. I'm starting to shop for like NHL merch just because I miss hockey so much, and I just like want hockey stuff to wear in the summer, which is so stupid. So I got like a Leon Draisaitl shirt the other day. I'm like searching for vintage NHL stuff. I just love Red Wings merchandise, so I'm buying a lot of that, and that's becoming my new kind of nervous way to spend nervous energy. Just buying
the best logo in hockey, so
it is great. I'll tell you this though. Do you remember recently we were talking about, not on the podcast, shout out our friendship, that Mitchell and Ness has sales all the time and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yo, I think I'm going to get into getting shorts whenever they have sales like that. And you were anti. You were like, stupid. Nah, don't do it.
Yeah,
Get a jersey or don't get anything. I saw a friend the other day and he was wearing some dope ass UMass shorts. And I was like, yo, those are very nice shorts. Where'd you get them? And he was like, this is going to sound really dumb, but I've gotten into like sports shorts recently. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? I was trying to do that. And he was like, he said they're like, oh, totally cocked. He said there's like a website and everything that does like drops on like, it sounded like sneaker culture, like especially cool sports shorts. I was like, oh man, give me that login, man, please. So I don't know, TBD. Maybe we don't make like brunch basketball shorts. I don't know if we could do that. If we did, I would buy them in every color.
I've thought about being like out on basketball jerseys, which is, for anybody who knows me, that's crazy.
That's a change, man.
Yeah. But I've decided that I'm not going to let the college bros take basketball jerseys away from me. Cause like my biggest fear is that if I wear a basketball
lost the
jersey,
American flag.
Yeah. Like, and my biggest fear about wearing college basketball jerseys is that like, they're just associated with like douchebag college bros now that I know I'm an adult and like, I just don't want people to look at me and be like, bro. And so, but I love basketball jerseys so much that I don't want them to take that away from me. And I think that like, so the positive to come out of me losing so much muscle during quarantine, because I haven't worked out at all, is that like I look less like a bro. I just look like a fucking skinny adult nerd
right
now. So like I think I can be back in on basketball jerseys and not look like a total D-bag.
All right. So here's my read on that. And it's the same reason I think that Dan Katz is one of the most important people on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
You are you, and you are who you are, and I know how you are, and I think that you are a good member of society. And I think that you're, for lack of a better term, you're like a good role model for like kids who might think that you're cool.
Okay.
So I think that it is a good thing to have someone who looks like a person wearing a college basketball jersey and sunglasses and everything in a red Solo cup. I think that it is important that can be the look of a good person and a productive person. I'm not saying that college bros are bad people, of course. I'm saying like
a lot of them are.
Right. There are some like
they're good people in training.
Right. There are some associations with that like you don't want to. I don't know. Like I will say that like you're not like party all the time. All I care about is partying, which again, like it's not the worst thing in the world. But I think that it's important that look isn't just this type of person. And the tie-in to Dan Katz is, I think that he's a good example for, I think that there's probably a lot of kids who listen to Pardon My Take the way that I don't know, like kids probably listened to Dane Cook in 1,000 years ago, and instead of being like, oh, I want to be like this, I don't know, make crude jokes, which now I think that we can say are offensive, to be like, hey, I want to be like this guy whose like comedic angle is silliness, you know?
and like even-headed and all,
right?
Like, just does like a lot of like wholesome good things.
It all goes back to the Gillette commercial, man. I fucked with that commercial heavily.
Yeah. So I'm gonna reclaim basketball jerseys. I'm not giving up on them. Also, I'm starting to become a baseball jersey guy, like a retro baseball jersey button up.
Did you get a Dodgers jersey? There's something very musical about those things. I don't know.
I know you love to say that. No, I only have 2 baseball jerseys in my collection right now, but I'm very excited about them.
I have 2. I have a Manny Ramirez jersey and a Carlton Fisk jersey.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't kick a jersey out of bed. I'll tell you what, it would be a Dodgers jersey
because it's very musical.
What do you have and what do you want?
I have a Michael Jordan White Sox jersey.
Cool.
It's fantastic. Mm-hmm. And then I have a Pedro Martinez blue, like the navy blue with the red stripes. Basically, I think it was like the batting practice or something jersey.
Yep.
I love the like colorful baseball jerseys, not white, not gray. I like the colors, and I like the striping on the sleeves. And I do love like a good mesh baseball jersey, like the V-neck.
Oh yeah,
style. Like that is my wheelhouse for baseball jerseys. So I'm gonna look around. I'd love to get like a. I don't know. I don't know who I'm gonna get, but I love that style.
I got and I'd had my eye on this for a while. I just forgotten about it. The Sharks and Warriors did some sort of crossover promotional jersey. Mm-hmm. So it was a hockey jersey that was the Sharks logo in
I have that
gold with the blue. You have that?
I have it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, did this happen where I said I wanted it and then you tweeted about it and someone gave it to you? Was that what that was?
Probably exactly what happened. Yeah. Somebody sent it to me.
Oh, wow. How is it? I just ordered it.
Oh, it's good. It's a little big for me, but it's not like as thick as a regular hockey jersey. It's more breathable.
Exactly what I want.
Yeah, so you'll be happy with it.
Yeah, I initially when they first came out, people were reselling them for a crazy amount, and most of them that were getting resold were XLs, but I was able to get one in medium, and nice. I'm quite.
Did you get the white one or the?
I got the blue one.
Blue one. Okay, I have the white one. So
nice.
Next time we go to like a music festival in 10 years, we can be matching.
A home and away action. Super cool. Yeah. So I'm just getting like NHL stuff. I guess that's my bag right now. I'm just so bored, but I don't know.
Well, if you're bored, there's no shortage of action going on at our exclusive partner, BetOnline. Sports are slowly making their way back with the UFC, NASCAR, soccer. We're going to have baseball, apparently. The NHL might come back, and who knows? Maybe none of these will come back. Maybe they'll all go away because some states are being stupid. BetOnline has all the best odds and lines for upcoming matches this weekend and every weekend. If you need more, BetOnline also has simulated NFL, NBA, and UFC happening every day live for you to check out. And if you're looking for something other than sports, maybe you're not into sports, BetOnline has hundreds of live casino games, poker tournaments, and all the best props in the business as well. So visit betonline.ag or use your mobile device and join now to receive your new welcome bonus and start playing today. betonline.ag, your online sportsbook experts.
Very, very rad. Should we talk about I Think You Should Have Left?
Well, you're going to have to talk about I Think You Should Have Left because I haven't seen it yet. I'm still interested in it, but I think that this is a good opportunity for Deej Explains the movie.
Okay. I'll say I'd be careful with yet on that. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh,
I don't know if you need. I don't know if you need to.
Okay.
It's
I got that vibe from you when I asked because we were both going to see. We were both kind of high on like being able to discuss this movie, and I asked you, and you're like, "Yeah, I watched it," and I was like, "Should I watch it for this week's episode?" And you're like, "Yeah, whatever." So
I was like, if you'd like to, but $20, like I'd understand if you wanted to save the money. I don't know. It was tough to get through my brain because on one hand, it's a Blumhouse movie, and on the other hand, it's like Kevin Spacey and Amanda.
Bacon. It's Kevin Bacon. It's Kevin Bacon.
Yikes!
Hey, it's Kevin Bacon. Let's not slander the movie too bad.
Church would understand that mistake. If I had tweeted that, ugh.
What if Kevin Bacon was great in it, and you were like, Kevin Spacey was awesome in this movie?
Okay, it's Kevin Bacon and Amanda Seyfried. Nailed it in a thriller. So when you think of it that way, you're like, "Ooh, I'm kind of excited. See what this could be." But then you remember, you're like, it's a Blumhouse movie, and those are typically just kind of stupid,
hit or miss,
right? Like easy peasy, kind of scary-ish movies, and that's really all it was. So Kevin Bacon stars as a man who is married to an actress, and Amanda Seyfried is his wife. There's probably an easier way I could have just said that, but they have a daughter together, and he like swings by her set, and he wants to see her work, and they're very weird about letting him in, and the security guy is super weird, and he's like, "What's your name? And who are you here to see?" And they're really annoying with him. They finally let him in, and he says, your security guard recognized me. And she's like, "Oh, honey, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it." And they talk about like, let's just get out of here. You work so much. Let's go on vacation. So they rent a house somewhere in Europe. I forget where. And when he goes to pick up supplies somewhere, and the guy's kind of being rude to him there. And Kevin Bacon is like, "Damn, the guy even recognized me here too." And he's a little jealous or suspicious of his wife, that maybe she's up to something. He's always checking her phone and stuff. And
wait, why would they recognize him?
So it's you thinking, you're like, what is he, man? Is he famous?
So he thinks that people are recognize him and they're being rude to him. So did he do something wrong?
Being a little cold to him because they've recognized him. So you're thinking, did he do something wrong?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking here. And he thinks that Amanda Seyfried is cheating on him or is suspicious a little bit.
Yeah, he's a little suspicious. Like, oh, what's going on here? And I'll tell you, I'm the viewer, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? I got some of the same questions as them. Now, I think he understands why he's being recognized, but I'm like, why haven't you told me? Now, the daughter, just like me, she says to Amanda Seyfried, they go on a little walk together. She says, "How come people hate Dad?" She's like, "Yo, what are you talking about?" She's like, "He keeps saying, you guys always talk about people recognizing him. Why do people hate Dad?" She says, "Well, your dad was a very rich, successful banker, and he was married before me. And he's kind of on his Cliff Booth shit. People think that he killed his wife, essentially." And she says it very delicately, like his wife died, and it was an accident, so people thought that maybe he killed her. And the daughter's like, "But did he?" She says, "Of course not." So I'm thinking,
definitely
50-50. 50-50. Yep. Which the stats aren't right, and people used to get mad at me in poker. I would do this. If someone went all in and everybody else folded, I would always call, and I would say, no matter what I had, because I was like 50-50 chance I win.
Yeah, it's like you either win or you lose.
Either you're going to win or I'm going to win. Yeah. They're like, that's not
that's not how this works. Yeah,
it's this person has
math nerds would be furious at you.
Right. It's based on the cards and all these things. And I was like, right, but one of two people is going to win. So 50% chance me, 50%. And so like unfairly with that sort of thing, I was like, all right, even if I don't know like the details of this, but for the viewers' purposes, 50-50. He either didn't kill her or he did. But she said it was televised. It was a big trial and it was a big famous trial, and everybody knew about it. Which, no offense, that sounds like a tragic thing that his wife died and everything. But I was like, why was it like a big national story?
A fucking banker. Nobody cares about bankers that much.
No, like I don't know. Like unfortunately, like there are murder cases all the time throughout the country, and I was like, I don't know. It wasn't explained why this was a big televised thing. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe he was like a famous banker. Maybe he was like I don't know. Maybe who knows? Anyway, point is, people think that he killed his wife and he got off, and he's getting judged for it all the time. So he's quite suspicious, checking her phone about maybe she's cheating on him. And he's checking her phone and he sees that there's nothing. She is a great wife and he is being...
She's clean.
She's clean. She's clean. And he's being hella weird for no reason.
Paranoid.
Yeah. Now, when they go to bed, some weird stuff happens. Like he goes to turn off the lights or something in the house, and it says that it's like 9:30. When he gets back to the bedroom, because they're planning on having sex with each other since they're married, he gets back to the bedroom all ready to have sex. She's out like a light, and he's like, yo, you fell asleep? What the heck's going on? And she's like, I don't know. It's weird. Then he goes to bed, shows the clock. It's like 4 a.m. So a lot of time elapsed there. So something is going on with this house. It's weird. Now they start to realize bit by bit, weird things are going on in this house. There's some spirits or something's going on. They're not fans of the house. They're like, maybe we'll get out of here soon. Who knows? She's always on her phone. She's always playing on her phone. And they argue about that sometimes. She's
a real screen junkie.
Right, screen junkie for sure. Mm-hmm. She's playing with the daughter outside, and he's looking. Oh, I should say this. He journals.
What a nerd.
And one of the weird things about the house, he found in his journal, in big writing, somebody wrote, "Get out of this house. Do not stay."
Did they write you should have left?
So, no, although there is a good "you should have left" that comes up. There's like it's like carved. It's like somebody frantically wrote like "get out," and he's like, "Did you write in my journal this whole thing?" She's like, "No, dude. I'm not going to invade your privacy like that.
Touch your freaking diary, guy."
No, whatever. If people want to journal, who cares? She's outside with the daughter playing around. And he's stressed about all these things, but he just looks at her. She's on her phone, and the girl's running around. And he's like, you know what? I got a good family here. Like, this is nice. So he texts her. You two are cute. She's staying on her phone.
Doesn't get it.
And then he hears the vibration.
It's a different phone.
She got 2 phones, man. Mm-hmm. She got 2 phones. Mm-hmm. Confronts her about it. Oh, yeah, she's cheating.
Oh, man.
Big time. Oh. So he's like, who's it with? She's like, it's with this guy. And he's like, and he's here? And she's like, what? What are you talking about? He's in New York. He's got big meetings. That turns into a fight that could have been trimmed. He's like, oh, yeah, he's got big meetings. Blah, blah. Like, that didn't matter. I guess it didn't matter that I told it either. But so he's like, get out of here. Scram, lady. We're done. So she leaves. As she's driving away, he yells, do you have all your phones? Pretty good.
Pretty good line.
Pretty good.
Nice walk-off bar.
Pretty good. Right. Like, did the Father John Misty lick the finger, like point to the all right, nailed it. So he's in the house with the daughter. Now things are getting hella weird in the house. A lot of spirits, a lot of weird stuff going on.
Is this where the tape measuring comes into play?
And he says, you know what? I'm about to tape measure. I'm about to bang out this tape measure. And he does say when they first get to the house, he says, "Wow, it looks so much." What do you say? It's so much bigger inside than it looks outside, which is the opposite of it, because there could be like walls and stuff and secret rooms or whatever, but like no, it's the opposite. So measures it, says this is weird, a lot of stuff going on. They're like, all right, we're getting out of here. We got to walk like 4 miles down this hill and up to wherever to get to like the bottom, and it's really foggy and everything, but they're like, we got to do it. So they leave, and as they're walking away, the daughter says, Daddy, there's a man in the house. And they look at the house, and there's someone standing there. You see the figure. So they're like, let's get the heck out of here. They walked 4 miles. They just got, all right, we just got to get up over this little hill, and then we're going to be there. They get up to the top of the hill. Guess where they are?
Back at the house.
Back at the house. It's at the house. They walked all the way down. They can't escape the house. The house is there. They can't escape it. And that's what he eventually realizes. He can't escape the place because the house is a place where people with demons end up, and it's their own demons facing them or something. Now, like that version of himself or whatever, his demons, whatever, the bad guy, blah, 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 that's what that figure was in the house. That was him. And they re-show a bunch of the scenes, and this guy's there. He's back there seeing it all unfold, realizing like all this crazy stuff's going on. Yes, if you're confused, I'm pretty sure it's some like multiple universe timeline stuff, which breaks the number one rule. Yeah. Sucks. But he, like, after he's done journaling, he runs over. Like after he sees himself get up and walk away from the journal, he runs over and like writes like, "Get out! Like this place is bad." Eventually,
but he's warning himself, basically.
Right. Eventually, he gets through the night, and he calls for Amanda Seyfried to come back and get the daughter. And she's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "I need you to leave. She's got to go. You got to bring the daughter with you. This is where I have to be, because I killed my wife." She's like, "What?" And then he says he was like, she drowned in the bathtub while she was on drugs. He said he walked in as she was dying. He didn't save her, sort of like a Walter White Jane situation. And she says, "What?" And he says, "Yeah, I could have stopped her, but I was just so miserable. And it was such a bad relationship. I was so miserable. I should have left, but I didn't." And he stayed, and you're like, "Oh, okay. That's where the you should have left thing." And that's the end of it. He stays there. I really hope you understand from my description of the movie. I didn't totally get it. Like, so I don't.
It's like an open-end conclusion where we don't really know what happens to him. He just stays in the house.
He just stays there. And that's the people, the guy at the shop that was like, "Ooh, so you're in this house." He was saying some stuff of like, "So some such and such chose you," or like the house chose you. And he's like, "Yo, what are you talking about? I'm just trying to buy some eggs." But that's the gist of it. Like, bad people or people who've done bad things, and that certainly qualifies as a bad thing, end up there, and they got to face their demons.
Trapped.
But I was wondering, I was like, "Yo, was there a version of Amanda Seyfried there?" Because she was obviously nowhere near as bad. But I mean, you're led to believe this is supposed to be a monogamous marriage.
Right. So like when she goes back to get the child, does she like leave?
Yeah. They drive away.
She successfully leaves.
Right.
All right. Well, that would have been a better ending, is that like she tries to leave and she can't because now she's in the house too.
That's true. But then we would have gotten into the conversation of like, all right, yeah, you're not supposed to, if you're not in a polyamorous marriage, you're not, or in a polyamorous relationship, you're not supposed to see people outside of your relationship. But like, he killed somebody. Why are they getting the same sentence?
Yeah.
There should be like, I don't know, she should get like her foot stuck in the mud or something like that for a couple of minutes.
She gets burned by the stove, like slightly.
Right. So something she'll overcome. So that's that movie. And, yeah, I would say like Stonk on Blumhouse, probably roughly the same. It was a Blumhouse movie.
Breaking even.
Yeah, it wasn't. I don't know. It took itself a little more seriously than your shoot. What was the
like a Truth or Dare? Or,
yeah. It wasn't Lucy Hale Blumhouse. I'll say that. So
this did seem like it presented itself as like a Parasite-esque Blumhouse movie.
Right. It seemed to be going more for like the Invisible Man sort of thing, which the Invisible Man was. I mean, that was a ridiculous movie as well. But the somewhat serious thriller versus the like you're supposed to laugh at how dumb this is that might accompany Fantasy Island or films of the Lucy Hale ilk. Okay. Well, this is an episode of the podcast. I thought this went great. How'd you think the podcast went today?
Stonks on the podcast. I thought it was a good episode.
I would say like stonk on brunch for me. Very much pointing up. Very much pointing up.
And What's Cooking is a big part of that. So tune in on Friday at 9 p.m. on Twitch, twitch.tv/pblackburn. Go there at 9 p.m. Listen to Dane cook with us. Let's make some jokes, have a couple drinks if you want. Let's just have a good time.
Put a motherfucker on ice like maple leaves. That's a hockey team, and I ain't on no hockey team, but I'm a champion. Where's the fucking hockey team?